Hey folks, this is Vince with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to quickly check out Everdell. Now, this is the digital adaptation that you can find on Steam for about 20 bucks. There is an actual tabletop version of this game. In fact, we covered it about a month ago or so, and I will say, right off the bat, Everdell, just the game itself, is fantastic. It is a combination of a worker placement game and a tableau builder. Now, you're probably wondering, well, I don't play tabletop games. What's worker placement? What's tableau building? Worker placement is when you're given, say, 3, 4, 5 little meeple workers, and then every turn you get to assign them to different parts of the board. And then usually you collect some kind of resource in doing so. So by putting my worker over here, I might get some wood. Or if I put my worker over here, I might get some food, or something like that. And typically, you spend these resources in order to gain something. In this case, you're going to be buying cards. Now, why are you going to be buying cards in Everdell? Well, it's a tableau builder in the sense that the cards that you buy will be added to a little city that you're building. You can have a maximum of 15 cards in your array. And depending on the kinds of cards that you purchase and put into your array, you'll score different amounts of points. Now, there are other ways to score in Everdell. My goal today is not to reteach you what I've already shown in my tabletop playthrough. My goal today is just to show you the digital version of the game. That way you can decide whether or not you want to pick it up for yourself. But long story short, worker placement, tableau building, lots of fun, very, a very cutesy nature. I think this is one of Idley's favorite board games. But anyway, so here's a quick look at the options menu here. Just pause if you want to see any of this in greater detail. You will need a Direwolf account if you want to go online and play with others. I have a Direwolf account already via other games that they've created, so it's not a big deal. There's a rules section. New players, highly recommend checking this out. There is a tutorial in-game, but check out the rules anyway. I'll get back to that. Video settings here, and lastly, audio. So I do have the music off for the sake of the commentary and to prevent any sort of copyright issues, as is typical. Rules, one thing I do like is that included in the rules section here is a card index. So if you want to see what a particular card is, you can just come here, hover over it. And just to quickly, again, I don't want to rehash everything that I've already explained in the tabletop, but this is a card, this is what it looks like. And you can actually see, like, the cost of the card in the upper left-hand corner. You know, you need 3 food in order to play it, whatever. But different cards will grant you different abilities. These green ones, for example, help you develop an engine. Every time a certain season comes up, these cards will kick in. Again, I'm not going to get into specifics here, but 2 out of the 4 seasons, 2 out of the 4 rounds in this game, these cards will kick in, and it'll grant you something, which is kind of cool. There's some other cards in here. There's the Innkeeper. These are critter cards. Sometimes these critters will, interact with others. Some will just grant you victory points. That's what that little one is right there. So you can see what, the different abilities are of each of these cards. You're putting them into your array, trying to score a bunch of points. But I love the fact that there is a card index here. And the game isn't all that difficult, to be honest with you. I mean, if you can handle Lords of Waterdeep or, say, Wingspan, then you'll be very familiar with this. Wingspan's got more of the tableau building side of it, not worker placement as much, but there is a little bit of worker placement in Wingspan. Alright, so anyway, getting back to this, let's go ahead and show you there is a tutorial, like I said. There's an introduction into the forest and events. I didn't bother doing any of that because I already know how to play. There's local and online play. If I click on online play, again, you'll probably need to set up your Direwolf account in order to do this, but there's browser and active, create friend match, create game. If I hit create game, there's AI difficulty, easy, medium, hard, optional passwords, and then you can, you can even set AI opponents in addition to other players. And there's a little chat bubble up here should you want to global chat. But anyway, coming back, let's go ahead and do local play. And there's challenges, solo play, pass and play, and Rugwart's trials. I have not done that. Challenges, I'm going to assume, is just, complete or get a score or whatever. I have not messed with that. My off-camera experience so far has just been with solo play. And I'll just go ahead and click New Game, and then I'll go ahead and set up something real quick. We'll just do 2-player, easy AI, fine. And that way you can actually see what the board looks like. So if you're familiar with the board game, you'll know that this game, Everdell, comes with a giant tree, like honkin' giant tree. That is like it's nice. It's a cool little thing. Well, not little. It gets in the way, to be honest with you. I could do without the tree, but the tree holds spots for various things where your workers can go. In this game, here's the tree, so it's completely out of the way. You know, players aren't looking around the tree trying to find spaces to land on. 2 players, it's not so bad, tabletop version, but when you're playing a 4-player game of Everdell tabletop, you kind of have to like look around the tree and go, oh, I need to get to... Oh, because this tree is just right smack dab in the middle of everything. But anyway, the digital, you don't have to worry about that. Everything's kind of top down here. You have, various, events and other things up here. There's these goals that you're trying to shoot for example. These are more like end game scoring bonuses and the like, and achievements that you're trying to complete. But down here is the main board. You have like your basic actions here. This one is gain 3 wood. This one is, gain 1, I think that's resin, and draw 2 cards, and then the pink thing is food. If you look on the very bottom, right where my head is on the camera, there's pebbles, resin, twigs, berries, and cards. And you can see the current season. There are only 4 seasons in this game. I mean, yeah, you're thinking, well, yeah, there's 4 seasons in real life too. Well, they don't repeat. So once winter's done, that's it. Then, once winter's done, you'll never see it again. So there's only 4 rounds in the game. And a round is typically this. Spend all your workers, okay? Spend all your workers, play cards, and then when you're done with all of that, and you can't place any more workers, and you can't afford any more cards, then you prepare for the next season. And you do that, and just until the game ends. And then, depending on how your tableau is built, you'll score certain points. So I have, 6 cards here, and I apologize that my head's in the way. Let's just move it over slightly. Actually, I'll move it over here to the left so you can actually see everything. But yeah, these are the basic actions here, the twigs and the resin in the card. Off to the right, you'll see some other spaces that might be familiar to you from the board game. Some of these other ones, like these little tree stumps, those are the special ones that pop up during games like this. Like, those are randomized. So every game, there's going to be a slightly different plethora of options available to you. Again, these basic ones are always there. These will always be the same. But these tree stump ones will be different depending on the player count and the luck of the draw. There's a journey section over here that was on the bottom right of the game board on the tabletop version. Instead, it's over here to the left. So what I'm going to do is I need to look at my hand and the board here and see what I want to afford. So this farm, for example, is going to cost 2 twigs and a resin. I have a farm in my hand. I may just want to put down. I don't know. I have a resin factory again. Any of these green cards are engine builder cards, and they will generate something for you every second season. Certain seasons will generate, others will not. So in order to place a worker in this game, I just click and hold and pick them up and move them somewhere. I'm going to drag my hedgehog. Let's go with, I kind of want my engine builder stuff. So let's go with the 3 twigs over here. Great. And he put one on the stone. I'm going to put one on the 2 resin, I think. Okay. And I'm out of workers. That's it. And you're like, well, that's it? That's it for the season? Wow. You can still play cards. You get more workers as time goes on. If you look on the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, you'll actually see how many twigs you have, or the resources that you have, and how many workers, and so on. This is the Ever tree. So instead of scrolling up, you can just click and hover down here to the bottom right, and you can see, what the Ever tree achievements are, which is kind of cool. And if I want to just click on this, I can move my camera to the city itself. But my goal, again, is to build cards. So in order to do that, I'm going to take a look at my hand. And this central location are public cards that I can buy from. So maybe I'll just buy from here. Sure, I'll just do something like that. And now I've built a building. Hooray. And now it says play a card or prepare for next season. Unfortunately, I don't have a whole lot of options. These ruins, discard a construction from your city. Gain resources equal to the construction's cost and draw 2. So this is a way of recycling stuff so that you can get resources back. Not sure I want to do that. I could think probably of other things to do, but I'm just going to go ahead and hit prepare. You have cards you can play. I'm not really interested. We'll just keep things moving. And now I get some of my workers back. I've got 3 to place this season. Let's see, I've got a farm there. This teacher needs a school. Okay. Yeah, certain structures will actually grant you access to free critters, which is nice. So if I have a school down, for example, here it is. It's 1 point for each common critter in your city. It's 2 victory points per the yellow 2 there. If you look in the upper right-hand corner of that tooltip, that card, it says teacher on it. So if I can get that down, I can attract that teacher for free. So that might be something to think about. I have 1 wood and 1 resin. So if I can get more of each, that would be awesome. The downside is, looks like my pal here is just content to take everything from me. You can block in this game. That's one thing that's nasty about worker placement games. You have the ability to block other people from entering certain spots. Draw 1 card after you play a critter or construction. Do I really need that historian right now? How many critters would I draw? You know, but just to keep the video moving, I'm just going to, I need the resin for sure. And then I want the wood over here. Kind of the same thing I did last time. And here's the thing. I could play my card now. Or if I'm worried that my pal here is going to take stuff, then I may want to... Yeah, it looks like he actually recalled all of his workers. So he must have entered a new season. That's one cool thing about Everdell compared to other worker placement games. Typically, like in Lords of Waterdeep, a round ends when everyone has placed their workers and that's it. Not in Everdell. It's possible for one player to do their thing, play a bunch of cards, and then someone else moves on to the next season because they have nothing left to do. So one player could still be in winter, and another player would be in spring or something like that. So it just takes some getting used to. It's not something I typically see in games like this. I'm going to go ahead and build a school, right? And with that, I have the ability now to build this teacher for free because I have the school. So I'm just going to go ahead and just grab that real quick. And, yep, play for free by occupying this construction. I will hit yes. You can only do that 1 time per structure that you have. Teacher, choose the card to discard. I don't care for the cemetery. I don't have an undertaker. I have to discard, I guess, the farm. Confirm. Okay. Because I already have a farm. No sense in keeping 2 of them. Okay, I don't want to go through an entire game of this, but I wanted to quickly show you what this game looked like. I will say I'm, again, a big fan of the Everdell board game. The digital version, there's a lot here for 20 bucks, and again, with the online play, it makes it a no-brainer. I love the fact that the digital version makes it easy to see the tree spots, whereas the tabletop version was a bit cumbersome. And again, the tabletop version, again, is a fairly big game with the huge tree. You don't have to play with the tree, but the tabletop version or the digital version kind of streamlines everything for you. But yeah, there you go. That was Everdell in a nutshell. And if you're done, if you need to stop mid-game, there is a save and exit button here. And again, if you're new to Everdell, then highly recommend, there's a tutorial section here. And again, in the options menu right here, and then under gameplay rules, you can quickly see, okay, this is what this means, or, you know, prepare for season, what happens there. In spring and autumn, you produce, okay? Yeah, so you just keep playing until the end of the game is when all 4 seasons have passed and everyone is done taking turns. Players compare their tableaus with everyone else's, and whoever has the most points wins. In a nutshell, that is Everdell. And as a quick review, I will just simply say, I am all for digital adaptations of tabletop games, especially ones like this. Wingspan is another great example of a tabletop game that is super popular, beautiful to look at, and it's fantastic to play. And the digital version does such a nice job of, I don't know, keeping that spirit, as it were. Everdell is much the same way. I haven't had any problems with it so far. Logging in was very easy. So I hope to see, you know, just general improvements in quality of life stuff over time. But as a release goes, day 1 release, this is actually very good. If you like tabletop games and you like worker placement and you like tableau building, you're not going to get much cuter than Everdell. And it's fairly easy to play as well. If you guys haven't already, subscribe to me on Twitch and YouTube. That way you can stay up to date with any new content I publish. This is Vince. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.